your day. I've never been the same. Find me at B&D of late kila weekendi. Nimekosana na wengi, lakini sisi I'm regretting. I know you know me well, usikate juu niko mlevi. Please don't hang up on me, niache niseme ukweli. I've been upset cause no one loves me better. Hata wanipende aje, na wapenda shingo upande. I know you're upset cause no one loves you better. Hata wakupende aje, utahepa someday. I'm not stalking you, niliona umepost pictures are cost, your new man doing the most. You seem happy, you seem so happy. Called to let you know I'm taken, but available for you. Bestie, bestie, we nirudishie phone, cause you don't understand what the hell is going on. Kilimani reminds me I'm alone. Oh, I need to call her now. She needs to know what's in my heart. Oh, I've been upset cause no one loves me better. Hata wanipende aje, na wapenda shingo upande. I know you're upset cause no one loves you better. Hata wakupende aje, utahepa someday. I've been upset cause no one loves me better. Hata wanipende aje, na wapenda shingo upande. I know you're upset cause no one loves you better. Hata wakupende aje, utahepa someday.
Reminds me I'm alone. Oh, I need to call her now. She needs to know what's in my heart. Oh, Kilimani reminds me I'm alone. Oh, I need to call her now. Needs to know what's in my heart.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
Wanipigia sishiki, wanitumia ujumbe sijibu. Sijui ni kwa nini, I wish ningekuwa na majibu. I don't want to disappoint you, so I would rather avoid you. But believe me, I feel you, na ni kweli ninajaribu. Lakini moyo wangu huenda du. Every time I think of me and you, I'm afraid that I am going to love you, then later I am going to lose you. Moyo wangu huenda du. Every time I think of me and you, I'm afraid that I am going to love you. But I'm gonna try yeah, and give a chance Utano lwa miluka yeah. Kifuna ukupumelela yeah. Oh. My brain goes 100 miles an hour. I think of everything that could go sour. My heart really wants this to work out, and I'm terrified of getting a blackout. Lord, forgive me, I have been running away from my true feelings. And it's time to stop being afraid and face my true self. Lakini moyo wangu huenda du. Every time I think of me and you, I'm afraid that I am going to love you, then later I am going to lose you. Moyo wangu huenda du. Every time I think of me and you, I'm afraid that I am going to love you. But I'm gonna try gonna try for you. Cause I'm gonna try for you. I'm gonna give my love to you.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio. From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
This is Hendrix Sound.
Misikatai, unanidai, akiwalahi, ninaogopa sitadinai. I want you to lie, ni vile I'm trying to find good love, baby. Baby, I'll be the one for you. Baby, maybe I'll be utangoja, yeah. Mpenzi utangoja, yeah, yeah. Sitaki we uchoke, yeah. Sitaki we uchoke, yeah. I'm trying to be the best version of myself. If you wait for me, I don't need nobody else. I'm trying to find good love, baby, maybe, and I'll be the one for you, baby, maybe, I'll be the one for you. I'll be the one for you. I'll be the one for you. Don't you take your love away. Take your love away. Don't you take your love away. I'll be the one for you. Don't you take your love away. Take your love away. Don't you take your love away. I'll be the one for you.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Well, that is Miss Fee with One for You, and it is playing right here on the number one hit, Kenyan hit music station. This is the One for You, definitely Power Radio. You know how we do. Good morning, my people. On this 28th of October, the year is 2024. Also, where has the year gone? Why are you running, Morive? This is the very last day. This is actually the last Monday of October. And I officially welcome you to cruise nice and easy with us all the way from 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. We shall be here on the Power Morning Drive Show. Kamakawa, I'm the host with the most. My name is Wanyoike, and it's good to be back, guys. Last week I was fighting for my dear life. I was suffering, but we are here, strong, recovering, more passion, more energy, doing this because we support you, we see you, we love you, and we have to absolutely serve you with our voice and in every big or small way. So thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, you can get in touch with us on our social media handles. We are at Power Radio across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We are on X as well. To fika pale, and then you use the hashtag Power Morning Drive. And you can also hit me up personally on my X. I am at the Wanyoike, and also on my Instagram at Wanjiko Wanyoike as well. Hit me up and let's get grooving. But me kama kawaida, I have to get you to work. So let me start off with the day's traffic updates. We'll start off with the high and mighty, Thika Road. Of course, bumper to bumper. Looking quite crazy. Kwanza ni end month, watu wamelipwa, so definitely the cars are outside, they're not here to play. Kuko na traffic kutoka pale KCA University all the way down as you go into town. The same situation across Kiambu Road, DCI, Karura, kote kumeshikana. Muthaiga the same. I can also see that Limuru Road is looking quite busy this morning as you go from, actually imeanzia pale Vima Village Market down towards UN, down towards Karura, then it breaks off and then shikanas up around Aga Khan as you go into Parklands. I can also see that Ojiji Road is looking quite busy this morning, just before Loakabete Road as well from Zen Garden. Kuko bumper to bumper all the way to Silver Springs, kumeshikana, Kamakawa, Kamadawa. Wayaki Way pia, the same, from ABC Place, Lion Place, actually down towards Consolata, down towards University, where things are looking busy. But at least it's moving. I can also see that Ngong Road is looking quite busy this morning as you go from, where is this? Prestige Plaza into town. kumeshikana kidogo, the same mayhem after mayhem. I'm not sure that you can avoid that route. Kidogo tu msongamano, then you guys will be out of the woods in a nick of a time. Raila Odinga Road, of course, kuna kuanga tu kukonywe, so you guys, hakuna nothing to complain about. Mombasa Road from City Cabanas, all the way down into town. Things are looking quite murky on your end as well. Poleni sana watu wa Capital Center hapo around South Sea as you go into Bellevue. The same situation is plaguing yours this morning. But not to worry. In case you see any accidents or incidents, remember the hashtag to use is hashtag Power Morning Drive. Let us know, and that we can get people knowing and growing and moving in safety. Yes, so let's get some music break, and then come back and we get into the day's news roundup. We have the local and international news roundup. This is Power Radio. See you when I see you.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
She says she's okay. I don't believe her. There's just something about the way she turned her back on me. I know you'll come back to me. You know that I'll come back to you. 'Cause that's when you'll start to feel my love. Feel it. That's when you feel it. That's when you start to feel my love. Feel it. That's when you feel it. Na 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 na. Usiponipenda nitapendwa na nani? Nitakuwa mgeni wa nani? Ukiwa mbali nami nabaki tabani. Ona nahisi kisirani, hawa haina maana. Nina wewe kuzozana, mbona tunasimangana? Hatuwezi semezana, my love, haina maana. Nina wewe kuzozana, mbona tunasimangana? Hatuwezi semezana. And even though we fight all night and day, I know sometimes in love there can be pain. And even though we need our rain, I know that you come back to me. And you know that I come back to you. That's when you start to feel my love. Feel it. That's when you feel it. That's when you start to feel my love. Feel it. That's when you feel it. And even if we fight all night and day, I know sometimes in love there can be pain. And even if we need a little break, I know that you come back to me. You know that I'll come back to you. And that's when you start to feel my love.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio. Jack on the beat.
They say on drugs, I say on me. They say it's sad, I say it's funny. You in some crap, don't don't you dare call me, cause I know that I can get you at this shit. I know it's weird that I'm quite honest, but if I don't, then who's gonna know? When mama said, don't you play with fire, you should listen and just move out my way. I've got this feeling that someone's on me. I've got this feeling that someone's on me, yeah. Someone's on me. Ooh, someone's on me, someone's on me. Yeah, 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 someone's on me. Oh, someone's on me, someone's on me. Cause I'm a drug, can you run me? And I'm a drug that I just cannot resist. Someone's on me, ooh, someone's on me. Once you begin, but there's no ending. Oh boy, it's like divine calling. And you don't know if you're up or falling. Light at the end of the tunnel, well, not here. The end is near, I feel it coming. This is between you and I only. When mama said, don't you play with fire, you should listen and just move out my way. I've got this feeling that someone's on me. I've got this feeling that someone's on me. Someone's on me. Ooh, someone's on me, someone's on me. Yeah, 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 someone's on me. Oh, someone's on me, someone's on me. Cause I'm a drug, can you run me? And I'm a drug that you just cannot resist. Someone's on me, someone's on me, someone's on me, someone's on me, yeah. And I'm a drug that you just cannot resist. Someone's on me.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Tender hands, why won't you let go? Of your tender heart, tender heart. Maybe you'll grow, you know. Count to 3. Take a step. Count to 3. Take a breath. His tender smile, his pretty wild. But sometimes I get unsure why his heart feels cold. Her tender lies, ooh, her tender lies, they burn off his skin, his fire. I see of her sometime. Still he counts 2, 3. It takes a step. Oh, it's a love unplanned. Oh, I try to breathe. Try to breathe. Oh, it's a mind romance. But I still take his hand. His tender hands are in God's tender hands. Maybe if I let go, then I'll grow.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Pawa Radio.
So we've been here at
The Great.
I wanna taste the cocoa butter off your skin. Your body language tells me that you let me in. The way your eyes light up whenever I am here. I'm awfully taken, I'm eager to taste it. This is a connection that's not regular. Your skin all on my skin, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to fight it. With you I can't deny it. The way you got me feeling so impeccable. I just wanna taste the cocoa butter off your skin. I just wanna smell the cocoa butter off your skin. Yeah. And everything you do, you got me floating. And I'm high up off your love. I can't control it. Yeah, you got my body on fire. I can't ignore it. So bad that I can't get enough. Yeah, but I'm not holding out, baby. You only got me for yourself. Our bodies are soaking in pleasure. I wouldn't want nobody else. I just wanna taste the cocoa butter off your skin. I just wanna taste the cocoa butter off your skin. I love the journey that I'm taking when exploring your mind. Oh my, I'm astounded. Such a detailed design. Well, in short, I'm just saying you exactly my type. And you can tell by the way I'm trying to get your eyes on mine. And oh my, you got me slipping, boy. The way I'm speechless, they need to admit I'm tripping for you. Yeah, I admit it fully. That you done got me and stopping is what I did, and oh yeah, I'm in my feelings so big, you're so intriguing, truly. I wanna taste it, taste it, taste it. I wanna taste it, taste it, taste it. I just wanna taste the cocoa butter. I just wanna taste the cocoa butter.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Pawa Radio.
From the house at 7 in the morning from Paris Base. Comrades have been here all day. They're not preferring any charges to him. They're not releasing him. It's quite frustrating. Either they let him go, or they tell us they've arrested him and what they've arrested him for. The kids don't know whether their dad is coming home or not. We demand that he be released. I'm calling on Kenyans in Nairobi. Come to Kamkunji. What the hell is this? Today it's Boni, tomorrow it's Moikali, tomorrow it's you. It could be any one of us. If we can't stand together in times like this, then they're going to come and get us one by one, and our bodies are going to be slowly found at Yala or in body bags for all intents and purposes. Kenyans, come out. Help me. Help me bring my husband home.
Free Boniface Mwangi.
Free Boniface Mwangi.
Free Boniface Mwangi.
Free Boniface Mwangi.
Long live the struggle. Long
From
live.
sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Free Boniface Mwangi. That was the voice of activists that accompanied the wife to Kenyan renowned activist Boniface Mwangi after he was abducted from his home at Lukenya Freedom Base, for those that might not know. And the reports so far is that he's supposed to show up in court today, this morning, for charges of incitement. And so let me just read a story here. According to the Standard newspaper, on page 8, activist Boniface Mwangi was arrested at his home in Machakos County on Sunday morning, allegedly due to remarks he made on social media about a charity race in Nairobi. He was taken to Kamukunji police station, where his wife Munyiri Mwangi and several activists gathered demanding his immediate release. According to Munyiri, 6 masked officers forcibly seized her husband and bundled him into a vehicle while he was with their children. She said that she received a call from one of their children who informed her about the arrest and the uncertainty of his destination. And I quote, "There were 5 men and 1 woman in 2 vehicles, and they did not identify themselves," she said. Munyiri criticized what she termed as the blatant misuse of police officers. Women are being raped, some are being killed, and others abducted and tortured. The government is failing to arrest the perpetrators, but is targeting soft targets like my husband, she said. Then she added that Mwangi does not deserve such treatment and reminded authorities of the country's laws defining appropriate police conduct. With that, activist Hussein Khalid also condemned the state's high-handedness, pledging to remain at the police station until they receive information on the charges that Boniface Mwangi is facing. And I mean, it's quite sickening, to be honest. It's first of all, that story has a lot of layers. One, you cannot just show up at somebody's house. Of course, that is already traversing, you're trespassing somebody's privacy. Secondly, they did not even care that he was hanging out with his children. You know, what kind of trauma do you think these children might, and I'm not just talking about Boniface Mwangi and his children, I'm using this as an example to talk about the larger issue. I'm just imagining the trauma that maybe the kids of people who are within the activism space, and the things that they are supposed to constantly have to battle with and deal with. So number one, it's wrong. You cannot trespass on somebody's private property and just abduct them and also just hold them and arraign them in and hold them into a cell that they don't even have any they were not against the law. Number one. Number two, we do have a constitution that protects the right of picketing. So if the argument from the government is that he's out on the streets and letting people, just like the word that they're using is inciting people to be on the protest, it really shows a lot about you as a government. Why are you insecure that somebody has decided to challenge the poor governance? Why are you mad that somebody is deciding to stand up for what is right because you have clearly failed to do your part, right? So that's the second thing, that this is it's absolutely absurd, it's unconstitutional. We demand for the release of Boniface Mwangi, like, immediately, because I'm not just speaking for for him. Again, I have to keep saying this, but it's something that keeps on happening. You could see the video, the audio that we've just played right now. The video was of Mwangi breaking down. I can only just imagine the amount of emotional labor, the amount of mental. It's so tasking to constantly have to deal with a government that chooses to miss the point every single time. And of course, activists are important. They have a role to play to safeguard the governance of this country. When you just look at the injustice and fold your hands and feel like you're powerless and you cannot do something, at least be supportive of the people that have decided to step up and take up the baton of fighting for your rights. I know that one day it will count for something. I know that one day the reward will be, and I think the only reward that when I look at people who are in the struggle, like Boniface Mwangi, I know that their reward will just be looking at a country where systems are working and working for the Mwananchi, looking at governance and governance that works well for the sake of the Mwananchi. That would be their reward. That would absolutely be their reward. And I want to echo the voice of Munyiri when she was saying that, her husband is a soft target because women are being raped, some are being killed, and others abducted and tortured, and the government chooses to not look at that. But when it comes to somebody who seems to be destabilizing them. Yet you cannot destabilize something that is already destabilized in the first place. Our government is unstable. It has shown us time and time and time again that we cannot put our trust in them, right? So when we have somebody who comes to rock the feathers, then, rock the table and shake the table, then it becomes, all of a sudden, it becomes a problem. And this is the exact reason as to why we need more people to arise, more people to arise, more people to arise. If it can happen for countries like Singapore, if it can happen in, there are countries that corruption is something far, 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 far from them, removed. It almost never happens. So really, and also she was talking here about the blatant misuse of police officers. For sure. The police that are supposed to be their first job and responsibility to the citizens of this country is protection. You are the ones who are supposed to be protecting anyone, regardless of their stature, regardless of their social class, their political affiliations. Yet you are the ones who are still being used to be sent out. This country is very militant in its approaches, and especially militant when its approaches to those that seem to be anti-government. So this is absolutely absurd, and we would like to call upon the release of Boniface Mwangi, and let it be the last time. Honestly, let it be the last time. It's quite sickening. How many times will you have to keep up with the same thing? How many times? It's not sustainable. It clearly is showing that it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable to keep arresting people because you can deal with one person, but what happens to the next generation of activists? You don't know for sure how many they are going to spring up after Boniface, And so it really is a telltale sign to show us that what is not sustainable is that the government needs to start putting in emphasis on what the citizens are demanding. There can only be activists because something is not working right. And for you to sustain a country, then something must happen. Something must change. Something has to absolutely go on a 360-degree turn. So yes, it's quite saddening, it's maddening, and I just don't want to live in a country like Kenya where after every other 2 seconds, something of an injustice has taken place, something, off the rails has taken place. And as Jerry was saying, today it is Boni, tomorrow it's Muikali, the other day it's Otieno, Kenyans have to come in solidarity, and it was good to see that activists were there standing together with her. But it's just I think Kenya has a systemic problem. The activism that we need right now is an activism that is more systemic and structural, so that by the time we are even thinking about introducing solutions, the solutions are happening within a systemic issue. A systemic structure. The solutions are more systemic than they are, individual based. Because that's the other thing. You see, when you keep seeing the same faces in the streets advocating and activating or being activists, like Bonnie is, again, as I said, a very renowned activist, there begins to have a feeling as though, it's like the activism is decentralized. So basically, what I'm saying is we now the problem becomes we need to start decentralizing faces, because we know, like, we have the same faces over and over and over again. And of course, I would rather we have more and more voices. And I say this, it's not a demand. Nobody is supposed to be forced to be an activist, for sure. But the continuous injustices that we deal with on a grand scale in this country. That's why the Morara Kebasos of this world, exist. That's why the Julius Kamaus of this world exist. They are like, they are willing to go through the injustice of people throwing them chairs and arraigning them in court for no reason, to holding them in police custody for no reason. That's the injustice that they've decided they are ready to deal with on an individual level, instead of seeing that Kenyans are being dealt with the cards of injustice on a grand level, on a national level. So kudos, it's not a demand for anyone, but kudos to those that are brave enough to stand up and demand for a better country. And we hope that he's actually going to get his case heard, and that this should just stop, man. This is I don't want to really deal with a country. I don't want to deal with a country that has no respect for its citizens. Boniface Mwangi also went on to say that the Occupy Stand Chat protest was meant to honor Kenyans who died during the anti-government demonstrations in June and July, and there's nothing wrong with that. Let the people remember, because those are they will always be the forever unsung heroes of the June-July revolution, protest, whatever it is that you want to call them. I'm quite maddened right now. So, but moving on, state pledges 2.9 billion Kenya shillings to Moi University ahead of reopening. The university was closed on October 3rd following a prolonged strike by lecturers and other staff. Now, Moi University is expected to reopen on November 4th after the National Treasury committed to release 2.9 billion towards the troubled institution's financial and operational needs. The university will reopen following Parliament and Higher Education State Department's intervention. At the same time, National Assembly Committee on Education announced completion of critical actions to allow the university restore learning. The committee's chairman, Julius Melly, outlined key funding measures aimed at addressing the institution's financial and operational challenges. These are the things that we're talking about. How can a country not even know how to run a university? A university is something ya kushindwa kurun surely. Yet we have the time, the money, the resources to abduct people like Boniface Mwangi. Please, we need to be serious as a country. Let me take a quick breather. We come back and we continue with this conversation. Keep it Power Radio.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
what a hater say. Sipping on that haterade, I'm tipsy off that Tanqueray and Alizé, I'm hella paid. Pair of J's on me as I hit the stage, hella bait. Toast to the hard work, so every day we celebrate. I'm just a dream chaser trying to reach paper. A few years ago, you know we hadn't seen better, so I had to get up. Hustling never seemed better. I'm fed up, but it won't get the best of me, my nigga. I live a fast life, if you can see. Mula team holding down Africa from the east, please. You know we're trying to stack up all the G's, getting money overseas. Mikey told me had a dream, Luther King, we believe.
And if I'm gonna make it worth it, then I gotta go hard. Got my city on my back. If you feel me, holla back. I do it for the 2-5 low. We hold it down,
when we down, you know we holding it down.
we hold it down,
When we down, you know we holding it,
we hold it down,
When we down, you know we holding it down.
hold it down.
When we down, you know we holding it. See, I gotta get that dough. Your money been the motive. Mama told me take it slow, boy. Keep your options open. Now we be all up inside your TV with a couple more beanies while we treat them haters like Stevie Wonder. Why these niggas bother anymore? Tell your trip or shopper man. Karungari better know that we swaggy. Nigga out your swaggy. Tucci's rolling doobies with some beanies in the backseat. But I don't trust these bitches. I don't trust these bitches. I don't trust these bitches cause they might catch me slipping. But you already know, can't moolah, that's that 2-5 flow. Yeah, now when we down, you know we holding it.
And if I'm gonna make it worth it, then I gotta go hard. Got my city on my back. If you feel me, holla back. I do it for the 2-5 low. We hold it down,
When we down, you know we holding it down.
hold it down,
When we down, you know we holding it.
hold it down.
When we down, you know we holding it down.
I swear I've been waiting for this moment since I was 12 now. Rock a snapback, folk a fitted, let your brain smile. And we just glad you finally listened cause you chose style. 5 mighty kids been on a mission while they talk slime. You spit, I vomit, have you on it, dog, I breathe rhymes. No Superman, just rapaholic, see my team shines. So now I'm sipping gin and tonic, we don't squeeze limes. Cause life's been bitter for a nigga, but I'm still fine. Ha-ah, ha-ah, hey. I hope you learn the basics. Boy, them A to Z's, your 1 to 3s ain't talking about the Matrix. Thanks to KOC, oh yes indeed, I've graduated to MC. Living my dreams, glory to G.O.D.
And if I'm gonna make it worth it, then I gotta go hard. Got my city on my back. If you feel me, holla back. I do it for the 2-5 low. We hold it down,
When we down, you know we holding it down.
hold it down,
When we down, you know we holding it.
hold it down.
When we down, you know we holding it down.
Hold it down,
When we down, you know we holding it.
Alexis on the beat.
Wewe nani unanipigia simu kama nani? Eti niachane mume wako nani? Unajua Nadia kweli mimi nani?
We ni nani? Unampigia simu kama nani? Yeah. Hata utoe vya ndani atarudi hapa kwangu tu nyumbani. Yeah.
Anapenda vidogodogo mwenzako anavimumunya. Mwanamke unapenda zogo, tafuta jambo hilo la kufanya. Oh, ni wangu huyo, nasema ni wangu. Oh, ni wangu, kubali aishe, ni wangu.
Oh, ni wangu huyo, nasema ni wangu. Oh, ni wangu, mwishowe ataisha, ni wangu. Hivyo vimeseji na kuficha simu havinishtui. Atachoka nawe, wengine aende, yule hakagui.
Kelele ya chura haizui ng'ombe kunywa maji. Kwangu habanduki, kwako hatoboki, na kwa maana ye
Anapenda wife material, mwenzako anakudanganya. Mwanamke una kasoro, tafuta jambo hilo la kufanya. Oh, ni wangu huyo, nasema ni wangu. Oh, ni wangu, mwisho yataisha ni wangu.
Oh, ni wangu. Huyo nasema ni wangu. Oh, ni wangu. Kubali yaishe ni wangu. Mi sitakoma, koma, koma, koma. Mi sitakoma, koma, koma, mama.
Ntakukomboa, komboa, komboa, komboa. Ntakukomboa, komboa, komboa, msichana we. Oh, ni wangu. Huyo nasema ni wangu. Oh, ni wangu. Mwisho yataisha ni wangu.
Oh, ni wangu. Huyo nasema ni wangu. Oh, ni wangu. Kubali yaishe ni wangu.
Oh, ni wangu. Huyo nasema ni wangu. Oh, ni wangu. Mwisho yataisha ni wangu.
Oh, ni wangu. Huyo nasema ni wangu. Oh, ni wangu. Kubali yaishe ni wangu. From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
That is the African pop star, Miss Nadia Mukami, and it's playing right here on Power Radio. This is a Power Morning Drive show. My name is Wanyoike, and let me get to the end of our international news roundup with the story. Of course, the world now looks to the United States of America. Because November 5th, which is pretty close actually, that's when they go for their elections. Donald Trump rallied supporters yesterday at an iconic New York arena, while Kamala Harris went neighborhood to neighborhood in Philadelphia, just over a week before America votes in an extraordinarily close White House race. Trump's gathering at the nearly 20,000-seat Madison Square Gardens drew a blitz of coverage in the Republicans' home metropolis, which is still very much a Democratic stronghold. Of course, it's New York. New York is the capital of the world, so it's very liberal, and hence it's a blue state there. No, blue state. Both candidates are making closing pitches to voters in one of America's most divisive and suspense-filled electoral fights, with polls suggesting a dead heat ahead of the November 5th vote. Harris, who is 60, has planned a packed day of campaigning in the biggest city in must-win Pennsylvania. It's a swing state, including stops at a black church and barbershop, as well as Puerto Rican restaurant. This reminds me of the Hustler Nation, propaganda that was used by President William Ruto when he was coming into power in 2022. I think the Democrats, the Dems, as they call them, or the Democrats are the ones who are the hustler nation. The party seems to be appealing to people that are mostly from, like, first of all, indigenous backgrounds. We have communities that immigrants for sure, black people, definitely, Hispanics as well, and anybody who is not necessarily a redneck white American who is like very conservative and stuff like that. So yes, so the Democratic Party is known to be very, very liberal. It's a leftist party, very populist as well, and that's why you could see that she's going to campaign where the voters base is, black churches for sure. Why? Because she's a black woman, or at least she's decided to take on her blackness in this election, so that it might mean something. You also had something to do with a Puerto Rican restaurant and a barbershop. Why? Because that's just how politics works. And then, of course, we have the Republican Party, which Donald Trump is standing on the card for. and that one seems to be the rightist party, so of course it's very conservative. That's where most Christians lie. That's where most white American lies as well, most of southern American, for sure, the Texas people, and Tennessee and all those things. Those That's where the base of the voters of the Red Republic, or rather the Republican voters are. So there's a lot of things. To be said about the United States elections that is happening. So it's going to be historic because this is not the first time that a woman is running or vying for presidency in the United States. We saw that with Hillary Clinton. But for sure, it is the first of its kind because a woman of color, well, Indians can't decide whether she's Indian enough. Black people cannot decide whether she's black enough. So we're just going to go with she's an Indian black woman of color for what it's worth for now. So on that front, it's definitely going to be a one of its kind. Then Donald Trump, of course, he's not new into the game. He was president just after the 8th-year completion of the Barack Obama administration. I was surprised to see him coming back. I was really surprised, I will say. But you know what? I would not be surprised when he becomes president again. Most of observers of this election are saying that it's very tight. It's a very tight race. But obviously, there's usually, again, the American voters or American voting blocks, they usually have swing states. Like, for instance, Pennsylvania is one of the swing states. When by swing states I mean they decide, like, today they might be pro Dems, tomorrow they might be pro Republican. So it's it's dependent on a couple of factors, right? It's not like here in Kenya where we know that when we see a party, we for sure know which one is going to scoop the presidency and whatnot. So yeah, so the 5th of November, so that's when they go. So far, 40 million Americans have already cast their early ballots, for sure. And where a lot of people are saying that they actually have hope that Kamala Harris might take this home. On the other hand, I'm very apprehensive about it because, first of all, I honestly think, because of my own personal biases, it affects the rest of the world, whoever becomes the president of the United States of America. And while it might not look like it's very detrimental, it kind of is. We have things like trade agreements. We also have things like, for example, agendas, social agendas. Why I care about that as well. You tend to find that when Democrats are in power, some agendas, like, for example, pushing for maybe things like the LGBTQ plus community, this is just something that you will keep hearing over and over and over again. But when the Republicans are the ones in power, you don't get to hear some of these social agendas being pushed. Of course, they push their own things. So I'm a little bit comme ça about the whole thing. But I have a very strong feeling that Donald Trump is going to take this home. I do have a very strong feeling that he might take it home. Yeah, and he becomes is it 46th or 47th president of the United States of America. But November 5th is not so far away. So that story leads us to the end of our international and local news roundup, and we get into the next hour. Today we are looking at state capture. What does state capture mean? This was inspired by a story I was reading today morning on my way to work in the Nation newspaper, in the Daily Nation. about the Ruto affiliated private entities, and it got me thinking about state capture. So let's talk about state capture when we come back. Find out what it is and how can we solve. Are there measures to solve the problem of state capture in Kenya? And how can we hold the leaders accountable, right? Who are attempting to capture the state, if I can loosely use such terms. Right, so keep it Power Morning Drive. We'll be right back after this short musical break.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Pressure, ona vile inatupeleka. Pesa, kikosa leo unakesha na kuna kesho. Tulia kidogo, ganga ya leo. Na ukinge moyo wako, moyo wako. We've made it this far, we're gonna be okay. With wonderful scars that help us find our way. And when it gets dark and you cannot feel my faith, pick up the guitar and sing a song again.
Wanyoike, timgi machunyi dwaro, kungenga mungeyo. Kima kinyo pango, nikech we ran away from misery. We had to pay for it dearly. Tutachelewa, lakini ndoto zetu hatutachorea. We've made it this far, we're gonna be okay. With wonderful scars that help us find our way. And when it gets dark and you cannot feel my faith, pick up your guitar and sing our song again.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Mighty fingers.
Jazz.
I make mountains out of molehills, and it can be quite the scene. Think about how far I've come and my life looking greater than it's ever been. If I could eat my pie in the sky, it would be just my thing. Sipping on my champagne and my life looking greater than it's ever been. My life looking greater than it's ever been. How did you rise so fast, so high, and not melt your wings in the sun? You must be Africa's son. How did you rise so fast, so high, and not melt your wings in the sun? They say you must be an African. They say you must be Africa's son. They say you must be an African. say you must be Africa's son. You must be an African. I don't know about my haters, but they should know about me. Keep me humble, oh God. My life looking greater than it's ever been. I overflow flavor. My pockets are full of greed. Even on my worst day, my life looking greater than it's ever been. Woo! My life looking greater than it's ever been. How did you rise so fast, so high, and not melt your wings in the sun? You must be Africa's son. How did you rise so fast, so high, and not melt your wings in the sun? They say you must be an African. They say you must be Africa's son. They say you must be an African. They say you must be Africa's son. You must be an African. You jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me back. If you jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me back. If you jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me back. If you jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me back. If you jealous, don't hold me back. Jealous, don't hold me, no, no, no. If you're jealous, don't hold me back. I'm saying, please stop jealous me. Please stop jealous me. I'm singing, please stop jealous me. Please stop jealous me. I'm singing, please stop jealous me. Jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me back.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Every bedtime is just the same. Brushing our teeth, falling asleep to our rain machine. It's called silly bedtime, our childish games. Amber light fades, drifting away, but I can't follow to where you're going now. 'Cause I just love to watch you fall asleep in my arms. I just want to follow you into your dreams while you're in my arms. Every morning is just the same. Brushing our teeth, you, then it's me and our rain machine. Last night I adventured to places unknown. Where did you go? Was it with me? I'm so clean and kind of curious. bit better, just me and you. A bit better, my body room. A bit better, we're sleeping through. A bit better, my body room.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
African beauty, tall, dark, and handsome. He gave me his number, I gave him my name. That marked the beginning of such a beautiful thing. I don't know what I'm feeling when he's around. My head touches the ceiling, far back to the ground. Is it love or just infatuation? Whatever it is, I just love the sensation. About my African king, I love his big brown eyes and the color of his skin. I can't breathe whenever he's not around. I go weak, oh yeah, whenever he comes around. I don't know what I'm feeling when he's around. My head touches the ceiling, far back to the ground. Is it love or just infatuation? Whatever it is, I just love the sensation. Jana moja, kijana moja, sikuli, siogi, and I'm so glad he's my rock, he's my power, he's my warrior king. He's got my back, he's no coward. He's my up on me, baby. Coffee skin like a Howard. He's my hero, my strength. He's my African Jack Bauer. And I don't know what I'm feeling when he's around. My head touches the ceiling, fall back to the ground. Is this love or just infatuation? Whatever it is, I just love the sensation. Jana moja, kijana moja, sikuli, siogi, mpenda, mpenda. What I'm feeling, yeah. Oh, to the ceiling, yeah. Oh, mpenda, yeah.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
A main switch production.
Mapenzi ni bahari lisilo na mwisho. Mapenzi ni moto kwa roho na haichomi. Nimempenda msichana ewa kisonko. Miumona kwenye ndoto usiku nikiwa ghetto. Uishi Runda kwetu ni Dandora. Kuna rusho makombo
mapima, mapenzi za madondo, yeah. Anataka tu mapiza,
enda pole pole, bado unasaka, chote unataka, with time utapata, hakuna matata, hakuna matata, enda pole pole, bado unasaka,
penzi wangu never leave me, penzi wangu rende pole pole,
take it slow as you go step by step, take it slow as you go step by step,
penzi wangu never leave me, penzi wangu rende pole pole,
take it slow as you go step by step, take it slow as you go step by step.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio. From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
That is Miss Polaris, and with her song, I forget what it's called, and it's playing right here on Power Radio. This is the Power Morning Drive Show. My name is Wanyoike, and let me first of all read a comment of our listeners. Yeah, good morning, DJ CJ Kenya. What's happening? He's asking, will Kenya ever get to the point where people can vote from anywhere and early enough if you don't wish to queue up for a day just to vote? Wow. I think that is a story. That is a question that he's asking in relation to the conversation we were having earlier on the United States going to their election. And of course, you know, their electoral process is very digitized. It's very electronic, actually. They don't have to keep voting in long queues and whatnot. And DJ CJ asks a very good question, because I would say that we have a long way to go. Let me just say that we have a very long way to go. Do I see that it's potentially possible? Yes, it is, because one, the world is very much changing and hyper digitized as we go on, and so a lot of the things that we have been doing as a global village, they will have to start integrating and initiating all our processes into digital or technologized. We'll have to technologize the things that we do as a people. So when it comes to healthcare systems, we are already talking about the Internet of Things, right? I just saw Elon Musk, his latest product into the market is this humanoid robot called Optimus. And Optimus, in his own words, he says that Optimus will walk among us. And that statement really hit me hard, because indeed that's what he's garnering up to do. Optimus is a robot that he's created that actually is a humanoid. I was seeing during the launch party that it was the one that was serving drinks at the launch party. It was also engaging people in conversations as well. Optimus is a robot that will be doing duties like house chores, and I'm like, yay, but like not really, because we have to also regulate what we are trying to do. Optimus will be going shopping for people. They're also developing something in 2025 which would basically allow Optimus to be cooking for you dinner. There I'm happy. But I just don't know whether I would be so comfortable seeing something walking around the house and I'm just supposed, and you know, like it's even so intentional how they were marketing it. It was sitting down when the family, you know, the imagery and how advertisement and marketing works. It was very integrated in our normal day-to-day life. I could see imagery of the robots, you know, sitting down during dinner when a family is having maybe dinner. You know, when they're watching TV, it's right there. It's remote controlling the channels. It's such things, you know, to kind of get us used to the idea that for real it will be walking among us, and that we will live in a very hyper technologized world. And to my utter surprise, the humanoid will be costing $20,000 to $30,000, which translates to 2 million, 3 million Kenyan shillings, thereabouts. That's cheaper than some cars. So really, I do think that people would be it would be affordable for people. For people, no, I feel even if not in Kenya, at least the high class, you know, the very rich and mighty will be able to afford this humanoid. And I'm just speaking on, you know, the hyper technologizing of our world. That is about to happen. I will say this without fear of contradiction. The next 20 to 30 years, we are going to see a revolution of the world as we know it. We're already talking about the Internet of Things. Of course, artificial intelligence is something. So it's just about us, our governments. Now, if we can't even figure out a school like Moi University, I don't know how we are going to figure out a voter registration process, first of all. Don't even remind me that we don't even have a gazetted IEBC in store. So we need to figure out systems first in this country. But yeah, in the next 30 years, we're going to see the Internet of Things taking up a lot of our lives as we know it. So there's potentially, there is potential for Kenya to get to that point, but it has to happen so fast, and we have to invest so much in what we know today as our ICT systems, our IT systems, our telecommunication system, everything has to happen and to be revolutionized fast. But of course, it's a very taxing investment. I could potentially see a lot like taxation going way higher if that's the way we are going, because investing in these things is very expensive. And who do you think is going to fund them? Of course, the Kenyan Mwananchi. So it's comme si comme ça. I don't know that we are ready for this, but then that's where the world is going. So I also do know that world politics happen, global politics happen sometimes in a linear, in a linear way. So we will not have a choice. We will not have a choice but to invest in these new technologies, these emergent technologies. It might be for the better, but I do know for sure that with the hyper-technologization of our world, something will have to give, and I am afraid that it is human beings. We will come back to this video right here 30 years from now, and you guys, I'll tell you, I told you so. So in the next 30 years, I'll be in my 60s, perhaps, if at all, I'll be even on this earth to see it. But we'll see. So let's get into our day's discussion. So I came across a story here on the Daily Nation, on page 2 and page 3 of the Daily Nation, and it was addressing, the many entities that are accrued by President William Ruto, and of course Rigiji, or the deputy president before impeachment. We'll just go with that. Rigathi Gachagua. And it was a story about, let me just read the headlines. We're actually making headlines today that President William Ruto maintained he was keen to form a state capture commission to end the culture of contracts going to public officials or the politically connected elite, which was a key campaign pledge. However, it has emerged that at least 8 Kenya Kwanza flagship projects are mired in controversy stemming from conflict of interest, and some benefiting the president's family directly. Among these, Silas Kibet Simatwo, who is the majority shareholder of Amaco Insurance, where President Ruto's family own a stake, was recently appointed to lead the Digital Health Agency, DHA. The DHA is among institutions mired in the controversial contracting of Safaricom Convergence Network Solutions and Apero Limited for the supply of an integrated healthcare systems for 104.8 billion Kenya shillings. We also have Mary Wamboi, her Parma Holdings, Chama Holdings, Enterprise Supplies Limited, and Evertech General Trading Company bagged tenders from the Kenya National Trading Corporation for the supply of rice, beans, and cooking oil, all valued at 6.85 billion Kenya shillings. Her Nightingale Enterprises also won a contract for supplying and laying fiber optic cables as part of the President Ruto's digital superhighway plan. We also have David Ndii and Mwende Gatabaki. Gatabaki, who is the wife of the president's economic advisor, David Ndii, is a director in one of the companies linked to Apero Limited, which is in the Safaricom consortium contracted to deliver 104.8 billion Kenya shilling system integrating the healthcare ecosystem. Also have Moses Kuria, Nelson Koech, Mithika Linturi, and the list goes on and on and on and on. So the story here is that, first let me read for us what state capture is. I read according to a site here that I'm reading, state capture refers to the undue influence by members of groups in the economic and political elite in shaping the rules of the game, morphing and distorting the laws, policies, regulations, and institutions of the state to their own advantage at the expense of society. The notion of state capture is, in fact, more akin to the idea of privatization of the rules of the game by elite actors than any alleged extortion or abuse by a public officer. And privatization of the rules of the game, at least in Kenya, how we have seen this playing out, is the continuous privatization of public entities. We are just we're still currently in the thick of it. The Adani privatization gimmick of wanting to take over and lease the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. That's one way in which state capture has been almost play out in this country. We also have the privatization of, for example, the what is this road that takes people to the airport? The super high, what is it called? I forget. What is my producer? What is that the road that people pay to go to airport? The expressway. Yes, thank you. The expressway. That's another way that is semi-privatized because, well, first of all, why are we paying to use a road? Well, it is taxpayers' money that should be catering to that as well. So state capture is when the public officials sort of tweak the laws so that they can benefit from the existing laws, so that they can benefit themselves privately to yani wajitajirishe basically, because one of the ways in which this plays out is, as you've said, the privatization of the game as it is. So, and of course, most public officials are businessmen. Let me just read this story as it states. So, among which the President William Ruto and his family owes, we have Weston Hotel, which is a director too, and Mama Rachel owns, more than 15,000 shares. We also have Martini Limited, Amaco Insurance, Yegen Farms, Digital Health Agencies, Himatwo Silas Kibet. We've just read about him right now. Those are some of the some of the holdings that the Ruto family is affiliated with. Rigathi Gachagua, the same, accused by Mwengi Mutuse of manipulating procurement at the Medical Supplies Authorities, KEMSA. We also have him. He did say that he owns Crystal Kenya. Global Fund cancelled a procurement of mosquito nets because he also was able to get into that procurement process as well. So basically, state capture is when people in power, the powers that would be, we've had stories about, not stories rather, but we've had this term in Kenya, cartels. Cartels in this country are the order of the day. Just a few people who come and monopolize, absolute monopolization of industries. I know that there are some industries in Kenya that are owned by one or two families for sure. The Kenyatta family being one of them. And why it's insidious, because it's because first of all, let me backtrack. I did read there that the president had said in January that he would form a state capture commission that will be dealing with this issue of corruption, because that's what it leads to. When you have public resources only accrued by very few individuals, what ends up happening is you end up in a situation whereby the common mwananchi, or the larger society, it has to bear with their already freckle backs the burden of whatever lays on the outcome of the other side. And it's insidious because that's how corruption is actually peddled in countries. We've had cases, countries like Cuba for the longest time, they failed because of the existence of such things as state capture, where you find one or two or three, topmost five, the very powerful families own every sector, like, and also it happens again because things happen systemically. So you end up finding that a state, instead of the government doing things from a public standpoint, we have the government, or rather public officials, being able to dictate, or they have stake in, for example, the healthcare system. We have public officials who have stakes in, for example, the roads and public sector. We have construction as well, telecommunications. Why that? Even media in this country, media is also owned by public officials. As one of them being, Media Max, owned by the Kenyatta family, or rather, they have stakes there, and it's insidious because, one, it only opens up the space to a certain kind of people. The conversations that happen in those spaces are, they lack layers. They lack, I would say, the perspective of the common mwananchi. And I'm not coming for them in terms of, even I want to become an owner and have stakes and shares, be a stakeholder in big companies. I'm not saying that it's bad to own stakes and to have shareholding. But my problem is when it becomes so greedy that now, instead of you wanting to just do business and do it on a level that is, reasonable, and on top of that, you're not tweaking the laws to accommodate your insidious and greedy motives. You're just doing it just out of greed so that you can be in every space and decide how things are done. So now that's what I'm talking about. State capture really has nothing good to offer, especially those that are on the other side, on the receiving end of what these powerful people, because again, it's only state capture when it comes from up there, and most probably always is affiliated to the political class as well. So corruption allegations cases, that's why we will never have the end of corruption or corrupt dealings in this country. Because why? The same people that are supposed to be dealing with it are the same ones that are benefiting from these fallen systems as well. And accountability cannot happen within the same. For accountability to happen, you have to have somebody that is from another persuasion altogether. And so, but in Kenya, what happens is that people come together, they all come from the same persuasion, they all think the same way. So we end up having an accountability that is very fake, it's very artificial and cosmetic in its approach, and hence that's where we are in the season and in the situation that we are currently in. And it does not help. I'm just hearing a lot of big monies here. Somebody who has tenders for up to 104 billion Kenya shillings. And really, you're telling me that we do not have the money as a country to make systems work? No, it's a priorities thing. I also say that things in Kenya maybe only run because there is a business mind or mentality attached to it. What do I mean? I mean, we are only able to see, for example, hospitals coming into play because somebody had to be given that tender to supply the construction bricks, or a road only happens because people were able to be financed to be able to give this inanufaisha a certain class of people. So that's why you keep hearing people saying that you cannot run a country as a business. But in Kenya, I think the state in which we are run in this country is that we are run as a business. Like, you cannot run a country of more than 50 million people as a business, because what it means, what it looks like for a business to be a business, you need first the product, you need a service, you need for it to be a business, it's making profits, number one. For it to be a business, it means that it is more than serving. You're really out there for the kill. You're there to make profits, and it does not matter who needs to be stepped on along the way, as long as you get to get your money and put them in your pocket. It does not matter what happens or what is the outcome after that. So why it's wrong to run a country as a business is because, one, while you think that the product or the service is whatever you are offering, let's say the raw materials, it ends up becoming as if the common mwananchi is the product, so that we are always the ones who have to be on the receiving end of carrying these burdens, being taxed so heavily, because tell me, why are we right now? We just moved into the Social Health Authority, SHA, from NHIF, and this was against many Kenyans. We were just transitioned. We didn't even have. I know that we are. The government is currently writing, or rather, the public is writing government emails to go and petition against the many things that have been happening in this country that are very unconstitutional. And so, so that's the problem of state capture. It just leaves the hugest chunk of the common mwananchi to take up the burden. Whether it's through tax paying, whether it's through not being able to access. And then that's another thing. Some industries that are very public, like, for example, healthcare, you end up finding that it's privatized. You cannot privatize the healthcare system. Why? Because it's healthcare, number one. It's supposed to be a public entity. And the government owes its citizens universal health care. And so all these stories, like now I was listening to somebody saying that since the new system, the SHA system, they've not been able to smoothly transition. So it has not yet translated into the hospital system. So the people have to go back to their pockets again so that they can access healthcare. So what happens if somebody is dying or somebody is being, like, you're fighting for your life? What happens in that case? And you cannot afford that money because you knew that you are making an investment in NHIF, which would have been able to transit you smoothly into accessing these public services. So when you talk about service delivery and state capture, it does bottleneck how service is accessed in a country. It does in a very, like, the grand scheme of things, it really does affect how service is done and how service is accessed. Because, as we are saying, when you have private owners, then it means that only willing buyer, willing seller, basically. And this is something that one of my favorite Kenyan scholars and public intellectual, really, Dr. Wanyoike Njoya, please go and check her out her classroom is on YouTube. Her YouTube channel is Maisha Kazini. And her Facebook handle is Dr. Wanyoike Njoya, or I think Wanyoike Njoya, where she takes us to school on basically to kind of see things as they are in Kenya. And what she keeps saying is that Kenya does not have a soul. And why she says that Kenya does not have a soul, it's because we put everything else first, but the people that we are supposedly supposed to be leading and serving. And so we could talk about state capture. And I also think that one of the causing factors of state capture is, I do think that it first of all came with colonialism, for sure, because you see, with the entrance of colonialism, it introduced to us systems that made us feel as if resources are always going to be scarce, and you have to sort of protect them and put a hedge over those resources so that they do not deplete. Yet, Africans are coming from a culture of abundance. There has always been abundance of resources. There has always been abundance of, the distribution of these resources was like land was shared communally. We shared everything that we had. Scarcity is just but a human construct. And I would say even more so, specifically, scarcity is a colonial mindset. Why I say this is because we did not know these things, they existed until the colonialists came. And now we all of a sudden have the feudalism or the feudal state capture, because that's what it is, where you introduce landlords and landladies, and you cannot live on specific lands if you do not own a certain amount of cash to be able to be on this land. We also have the introduction of borders. Like, what do you mean I can't just go to South Africa if I want? We were one continent before. Now we have imaginary borders that again limit the access of free movement and stuff like that. So why state capture for me is a very problematic idea is because it is a continuation of the coloniality, or it's a continuation of the legacy and the residues of colonialism in Kenya. And for us to take on that and continue to peddle, you could call it neocolonialism. I know Dr. Wandia calls it neoliberalism as well, where it's just, again, free market, willing buyer, willing seller. But what happens when the people who are supposed to be accessing these services do not have the means to do it? Because what capitalism does is, and because state capture and capitalism, they go hand in hand like this. They work so well together. They complement each other. What happens to such people? So when you're talking about inclusion and diversity, even as we think about how to create synergies for the public to access these services and products, we have to really take into consideration that it's not going to be sustainable. You can't run a society as a willing buyer on a willing buyer, willing seller perspective or system. So it's really colonialism at its best. We will never talk about a post-colonial era in this country, sadly, because there's nothing like post-colonial era in this country. We are still in the colonial era. It's just that the masters have become our very own people. But you see, it's the biggest deception that we will ever fight with in this country is to think that systems are individual based. No, they are not. Systems are just that. They are systemic. Everything that we will ever deal with, people are distractions. The individuals that, we like targeting, those are just distractions. But the real thing that is supposed to be dealt with on a personal level is the systems within which they come in. And so state capture, this is definitely a conversation that I would love to have with economists. So economists, if you know any economists and that we can learn a thing or two from, please hit us up, DM us at Pawa Radio, and we will have this conversation much, much more on a deeper level. But for sure, even the Daily Nation did say on page 2 that since Ruto took on power, they've seen him take up more shares in all the holdings that he's a part of. Why is that? There's something that power does. When you get into power, you have sort of immunity against impunity. And that is exactly why this is a problem. Of course, this is a discussion that we will continue having. It's not one show, I keep saying, is never enough to have a conversation of deep magnitude as this. So I feel like we can get into a whole series right here on the Power Morning Drive about state capture, because the times that we are living in, I think we have to brace ourselves. And of course, we will talk about this state capture commission on our consecutive conversations that we have here. But that was just to lay a foundation on what really state capture is and how can we deal with this. Of course, the only way to deal with this is to create systems of accountability that are far removed or they are not affiliated whatsoever in any way to the Kenya Kwanza government, number one, or are affiliated to the powers that be, because conflict interest. We'll talk about the conflict of interest bill that Senate did mutilate and overthrew and did some adjustments. I think I'll have our in-house wakili sometime next week, Mr. James Wanyoike, as we discuss, this bill in depth and what state capture might potentially look like in Kenya if we do not nip it in the bud. But yeah, allow me to leave that there. Thank you so much for everybody who was able to tune into the Power Morning Drive show. I can see that I'm very squeezed for time. Let's do this again on our Retire Wednesdays edition this coming Wednesday from 8 a.m. all the way till 10 a.m. Kama kawaida, I have to invite you to Fitness in the Word. It's a fellowship that happens every Monday from 5 p.m. all the way till 8 p.m. at Nairobi Cinema. It's absolutely free entry. Come, meet me, say hello. Let's get blessed together. Tag someone along. Tubarikiwe pamoja. Asanteni sana. At 11 a.m., Miss Murote comes in with Shiva session, so you do want to stick around for that. Then later on in the evening, our in-house advocate, Mr. James Wanyoike, comes in with Sharia Dive to tell us about the law of Kenya. So do stick around. Power Radio, where we tune in and power out. My name is Wanyoike. I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Road trips and young romances, breakups and second chances. Our rhythm steers through all these years. If love is a drum, you are my drummer. I'll dance to your beat only forever. If love is a drum, you are my drummer. I'll dance to your beat. My Isukuti love. Is it good for me? Is it good for me? My Isukuti love. Is it good for me? Is it good for me? Ringing the one ding ding, then the boom boom boom. Adding my nyatiti, then it's me and you. My Isukuti love. Is it good for me? Is it good for me? Is it good? Heartbeats and stolen glances, oceans and wedding marches. Our music plays through all these days. If love is a drum, you are my drummer. I'll dance to your beat only forever. If love is a drum, you are my drummer. I'll dance to your beat. My Isukuti love. Is it good for me? Is it good for me? My Isukuti love. Is it good for me? Is it good for me? Ringing the one ding ding, then the boom boom boom. Adding my nyatiti, then it's me and you. My Isukuti love.
your kind of music all day, all night, right here.